This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet. Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Half hour brought to you by our good friends at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury, Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. Ford, Kia, Hyundai, best in new inventory, great pre-owned inventory with the all-important Sunbury Motors guarantee. They check over each vehicle on the lot thoroughly, makes the buying experience easier, and the service department, quick lane inspections, routine, difficult, tremendous. All at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury, Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com. The outstanding Rich Scarcella joins us. Sir, welcome back. Great to have you with us.
Great to be with you, Steve.
Did you get a chance to walk into Beaver Stadium? And if you did, what was the impression of the temporary seating on the west side?
Yeah, I did. Steep. That took me and a lot of other people. I was surprised how many broadcast booths there are. I didn't realize there would be that many, honestly. Yeah. I think there must still be work to do because there was nothing underneath the bleachers, and they obviously have 3+ weeks to finish that. So yeah, I mean, it didn't. Those are my takeaways.
I would think the number of broadcast booths has to do with student radio, in part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that has to be part of it. The comm radio, the Lion. If the opposing team wants to have a student radio station, to go with their own network, and of course what Penn State does and TV. So I think that's probably the reason behind it. Plus, I think you probably have to have operations over there too. Right.
And I'm assuming, and you would know, but the coaches are going to be on the east side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the coaches in the quote unquote press box will be on the east side. So no, I mean they're my takeaways. I mean, it's a temporary thing for 2 seasons, and I'm looking forward to seeing it when it's finished in 2 years.
It's interesting is that it looks actually different when you're on the field than it does when you're looking from the outside. The inside looks better than the outside does.
Okay, I'll take your word. I didn't get a good look from the outside, but yeah. I mean, like I said, I think once everything's done, it'll be fine.
Okay, so now let's get to the takeaways that you had from Media Day. What was actually the primary takeaway? And it doesn't have to be James. Maybe it was somebody else.
Oh boy. There were a lot of takeaways. Yeah. Let's start with what I wrote my column on, is the 3 wide receivers from the portal,
right,
and what they can bring and what they have brought. James talked about how important that position will be in the offense, and he made that very clear, and how that's going to help not only Drew Aller, but Nick Singleton and K'Tron Allen, and I agree. And Andy Kotelnicki mentioned about how they've conducted themselves, and he called them terrific and fabulous and things like that. And I talked to all 3, and I got a good feeling from them. But I think that's one takeaway. Second takeaway is Jim Knowles only spoke for 8 minutes in the media room.
Yeah.
And almost everything he said was a nugget, was a very, was important. And he mentioned Zane Durant and how defensive tackles who make tackles are rare. And he's been impressed with him. He's been impressed with Amari Campbell, the linebacker transfer from North Carolina, and Tony Rojas, who's coming off an off-season surgery. And then, talking to the players, besides the receivers, I talked to A.J. Harris and Elliott Washington, and I was so impressed with both of them. And I know Jim Knowles and Terry Smith and Anthony Poindexter expect big things from them. And I got a chance to talk to Denai Dennis Sutton for a few minutes too. So it's a very quietly confident feeling. That's the takeaway I got. As far as intangibles go, very businesslike, and watching practice for a half hour on Saturday, I felt the same way.
Yeah, no, they go about their business. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Just go about their business. When you looked at the offensive line, I don't know how much of that you got to see in practice, but just having a guy like Anthony Donko back, what does that mean to the overall unit? Doesn't mean he has to start, but what does it mean to the overall unit?
Well, I just think it's it's a deep offensive line. The young man from here in Berks County, Javen Williams, 5-star prospect, and if he had come along a few years earlier, he'd have been playing by now. He'd have been starting, but because the talent, the experience, and the depth is so great on the offensive line, he's got to wait his turn, and he understands that. He's, that's, to have an Anthony Donko back and have, a Nolan Rucci both, fully healthy, and the way the two of them both played last year, I think that it's a plus. It's an absolute plus. And then you add a Cooper Cousins into the mix to go with, Drew Shelton, Vega Ione, and Nick Dawkins, and it's a tremendous offensive line with great depth, and that's a tip of the cap to Phil Troutwine, and it has become a team strength the last couple years, and you couldn't always say that earlier in James Franklin's tenure.
Which means they also had to protect Drew Aller. What has been your sense in listening to Drew talk, the Drew Aller you're hearing today compared to the Drew Aller you heard a year ago?
Not much different. I don't sense any different. He's very, he seems confident. I think he seems, he's not going to say anything outrageous. I know he's happy to have those three receivers who are experienced, who handle themselves in a professional manner. I know that, but I don't really sense anything different other than the fact that he and a lot of other guys can't wait for the season to begin.
Yeah, no kidding. They're anxious for it to begin, without question. There's a lot of talk about what special teams can mean to this team. What's your thought on that and the emphasis Penn State's putting on it?
Well, if you look at how the return game was last year, it wasn't very good, especially in the punt return game.
Right.
And I think Justin Lustig made that a point on Saturday, that they expect special teams to be better. I don't think they were awful kicking the ball necessarily, but I think they actually were pretty good kicking the ball. But the return game, you have a variety of options in the punt return game.
Right.
Trevor Pena, Devontae Ross, Zion Tracy, I could go on and on. So they have a lot of options there, and I think they will be more productive there. And I think the kickoff return was interesting when he was asked about whether Nick Singleton and Katron Allen will return kicks. And he didn't mention Katron, but he mentioned Nick, that if they think that there's a weakness in the opponent's kickoff coverage, they'll put Nick back there. If not, it'll probably be Quentin Martin and Corey Smith.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be more productive too. I do.
20 years ago, what kind of note did you take of preseason polls? And with the playoff, what do preseason polls mean to you now?
Gosh, I can't think of 20 days ago, Steve. 20 years ago, wow. No, obviously the polls, the preseason polls aren't as critical and aren't as impactful because the season, they were impactful, but they weren't, because you had to play the season. But now you not only have to play the season, you have a committee meeting to determine 12 teams, not 4 teams, not 2 teams, not 4 teams, 12 teams. So I think, like, going into the season, the polls, it's okay. It gives the fans something to chew about and to talk about, but it's not the end-all, be-all. Like, except for maybe teams that are at the bottom of the top 25 or out of the top 25 in the preseason polls, they have a lot of climbing to do.
Right.
That maybe, but for a team like Penn State, they obviously the USA Today coaches poll came out about 2 hours ago, and Penn State's number 3, which is fine. It's not whether they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. They're 3. That's fine. Yeah. Their season is in their hands. They'll determine where they finish. Now it's not going to be up to voters as much necessarily when you look at it. But I think I know this was brought up and talked about at the Big Ten Media Days, but I actually think, especially last year, I thought the committee did a really good job.
Yeah.
And I mean, they tweaked it a little bit, and I agree with the tweak. You don't give the conference champions an automatic top 4 seed. I agree with that, or the four highest ranked champions.
Agreed.
Just see them 1 through 12. I'm good with that.
Yep.
And,
me too.
So yeah, it's not as critical, but it is significant in Penn State's case when you look at it in a big picture way, because it's the highest they've been ranked in a preseason poll since 1999. So that is significant. Yeah. And it tells you how far the program has come and how the direction and the momentum that it has.
Now, I'm not saying whether this kind of reaction is right or wrong, but between comments or clicks, what do you get more reaction to when you write something? An issue that's bedeviling college sports, or the game or the team itself?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. It's about the game and the team itself, and the head coach.
Yep.
No doubt about it. Oh, yeah, it's not even close. The bigger issues, the greater issues, I think the casual fan just tell me what it is. I don't think, I mean, last year and in the, since the Supreme Court's decision in July of 21 regarding name, image, and likeness, I got a lot of questions, emails, or comments to me in person. People, they don't like it. I'm like, I don't like it either, but this is the way it is. And if you don't play by the rules or this is the new game, you've got to adjust or you're going to be left behind. But other than that, it's mostly about the team and the coach. Yeah. Like, I mean, if I write a column about James Franklin, I'm going to get comments, and most of them are going to be negative because they're the people who take time out to write about it. I mean, maybe the majority of the people might agree with me if I'm defending or supporting James, but they don't take the time to write. The people who are critical, they're the ones who usually take time to write.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, we all know that. That's. I mean, I don't care if you're buying a refrigerator. You look at the comments. Oh, they said this. That's because.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. Hey, it's awesome. It's great. If you put it in, you love it. You're going great. If you had a complaint, you write it down.
Yeah. I mean, that's you know. I've been fortunate to be in this business a long time, and every now and then I get some nice notes, but they're not as frequent as the criticism, which I take. I understand. I mean, maybe if I was 23 or 24, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I didn't understand it back then, but I understand it now, and I don't get as fired up.
No. After a while, you're like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And we're lucky you've been around this long. Is there a player on this team that you really enjoy listening to and interviewing because they give such thoughtful answers?
Yeah, there are. Well, Nick Dawkins. I mean, he's number one.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, and I've written about him. Yeah, I mean, a few times. I mean, like a profile of him, basically. And he's a guy I enjoy talking to. I really enjoyed talking to Elliot Washington on Saturday.
Yeah.
I've been on. I never talked to him as long as I did on Saturday, which is probably 7 minutes, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. And A.J. Harris is good too. But yeah, they're the ones. I mean, I enjoy talking to Nick Singleton and Katron Allen when I have had one-on-one interviews with them. They're so much better. You know, they're actually, they've got a different side to them when they're one-on-one, you know, than in front of a lot of people. But no, I mean, they're you know, like, I mean, I could go, you know, back, but on this team, I think, like, I like talking to Jalen Reed last couple of years.
Oh yeah, no, very thoughtful.
Oh yeah. Well, he was very perceptive, and he gave good answers. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm looking forward to there's the people I haven't talked to on this team yet. Because, you know, and I briefly talked to Luke Reynolds, but I haven't had heard him on a call or Zoom interview
like
for
him.
9 or 10 minutes. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, you'll like him. He's very articulate, outgoing. You'll like Luke very much. The interesting about Singleton and Allen, they've always been relatively quiet guys, but usually as time goes, sentence answers turn into paragraph answers. I feel like they're more willing to offer paragraphs now. Is that fair?
Yes, that's very fair. Yeah. They were both. I interviewed them back to back in April, and it was a pleasure. I mean, it was, you know, and it, you know, the thing amazing about the two of them is how close they are.
Yeah.
How fiercely they compete for the same thing. This is highly unusual. Like this isn't something that happens every day, and they're going to finish, you know, knock on wood, barring injuries, they're going to finish as the top two rushers in Penn State history, and they've been rooming together for 3 years. I mean, it's a sincere relationship. Like, it is sincere. That's the wrong word. Genuine. It's a genuine friendship, and you know, they enjoy each other's company, and I think it's something that people should take note of. That you can be competing for the same thing, for carries, for playing time, to see who's going to be the number one rusher in Penn State history, but you can also like each other. And they do. It's very clear.
And you know what? It's interesting. I don't think they care who gets credit, which is kind of cool. I also think that Nick's dad has been a big positive for K-Tron.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of things.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
My friend, always a great pleasure. Awesome work as always. Really appreciate you.
Anytime, Steve. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
The great Rich Scarcella joining us on the show today, brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury, Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummels Wharf, and online at sunburymotors.com on News Radio 1070 WKOK.
Party time, game time, or just fun time. Doesn't matter what time it is because it's Brewers Outlet time. The Beverage Supermarket has the area's largest beer selection. Imports, microbrews, ciders, and domestics. Pick from over 100 ice-cold 12-packs and dozens of 24-ounce singles. Soda, snacks, hot sauces, fresh roasted peanuts. Make it one-stop party shopping, and don't forget the pickle bar. So whatever you're celebrating or just doing it up, Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury wants to see you. And thank you for your years of patronage.
When car repairs get difficult,
well, I just don't know.
Me neither.
we get good. Sunbury Motors. More than quality new and used cars, Sunbury Motors specializes in complicated auto repair diagnosis. They can handle intricate repairs and even complete auto body with service open Monday through Friday, 7 till 4. And Sunbury Motors has made simple repairs easy. Maintaining your vehicle is necessary. Finding the time to do it is difficult. Welcome to Sunbury Motors Quick Lane. Just walk in or call ahead. Relax in their remodeled waiting room with Wi-Fi, beverages, and snacks. While Sunbury Motors factory-trained techs take care of your oil change, tire alignments, brakes, and inspections. Quick Lane, 6:30 to 6, Monday through Friday, Saturday, 6:30 till 2. Sunbury Motors, Ford and Hyundai, North 4th Street, Sunbury. And Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummels Wharf. We take the out of auto repair.